This is Shmee150 in a room, right? This is the story of everything I've done, cars that I feature in all of my videos. You know, I feel very lucky to be able to have the cars in my collection.
How'd you get out? Good to see you again, mate. Yeah, good. You all right?
Well.
Good.
Welcome to the Shmuseum.
Thank you. Really good to connect with you again since the Gumball rally, and long time coming. And to be honest, I said to you just off camera, we could have probably done a podcast over in Miami or somewhere really cool, but to be here in the Shmuseum, I've got that right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Is epic, mate. So congrats, and you've done so bloody well for yourself, man.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, I think this is Shmee150 in a room, right? This is the story of everything I've done on YouTube and my social media platforms, the cars that I feature in all of my videos, all of the stuff that I accumulate around. I'm a bit of a hoarder, so I put a lot of collections of things, model cars, Lego, all the toys and things. This is basically my grown-ups toy room.
Oh mate, it's really, really cool. And there's certain cars in here that I don't think I've ever really been next to too much, including Maximilian Cooper's Jaguar over here. I've never actually been next to a full GT. There was a Senna on the Gumball rally, so I got to see that. I have to say, my three favourite cars in here probably be your full GT, Senna, and the Hurricane STO. I think, what an incredible car.
I mean, it's actually quite fun, obviously, given how much time we've spent together on the Gumball Rally Toronto to Miami, that Max Cooper, the founder of Gumball 3000's Jag-X J220S, is here right now. He wanted to pop it somewhere for storage for a short while, and I was like, yeah, of course. How cool is that?
Unbelievable.
And I've done the Gumball 7 times now, 7 times in full, so I feel quite familiar with the antics and the occasion.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time I took my Shelby GT500, which is on its way now back from the US. It's on its way back here. I say back here, it's never been here. I bought it in the US.
Really?
I bought a car, used it for a cross-country tour I did myself, then took it on the rally, and now it's on the way back.
Because I've got to be honest, when I knew you was on the rally, I was speculating and kind of guessing which sort of car you would bring. And I thought it would be like a Ford GT or the Senna. And when I saw that turn up, I thought, yeah, it makes sense because we're an American rally bar, Toronto. But I was expecting something with a bit more theatre, to be honest.
So the thing with the two-seat supercars, right, the stuff like the Ford GT and the Senna, as you know from driving an Aventador, there's not a whole lot of luggage space. And I quite like engaging the audience on the rally, the audience who have made it possible for me to be where I am. And that means, for example, taking t-shirts and stuff to give away, tons and tons of stickers and things, and just being able to do a little bit more with the adventure, and not be limited by only being able to take a wash bag and a couple of pairs of underwear, and that's it. I had a bit of an adventure even getting there, because I managed to break 2 wheels on my car only a couple of days before the rally.
Wow. And
they're out of stock everywhere, and because the car has carbon wheels, you couldn't just get another set and put them on. It needed to be with the same hub. So to get the wheels was major challenge. Actually, one of the Ford dealers in Toronto took 2 wheels off a car they were selling, lent them to me, and I replaced those.
Incredible.
But that was that took a whole community to pull it together.
I don't want to seem like I'm trying to top you here, but you do know what happened to us, don't you, at the start? You not hear about this?
Start? No.
On the start.
On the start.
So when we were pulling off from Toronto, you had the flag drop.
So at the flag drop?
Yeah, you go around. Just before the flag drop, there was, from the Four Seasons Hotel, we were kind of all lining up, and there was a moment where everyone stops, go out of the cars, and everyone's revving their cars, and I was just in front of the DDE boys, and there was a massive crowd there. Anyway, there was, I would call maybe a car enthusiast or a car spotter, came over to the car, looked through the engine bay, and said, "You got a problem there, my friend." I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, look at the suspension." And as you well know, they come out like this. One of them had dipped. Now, I didn't know what I was looking at because I'm not an expert. And I said, "How much of a problem is this?" And he said, "Well, it could cause you a crash." I kind of rubbished it off. And lucky enough, I saw Dave from DDE walking past. I said, "Look, you clearly know your stuff. Can you please have a look?" So as he looked, he said, "I agree with the guy. I think you've got a problem." So anyway, I had to call the company that we rented the car from, and I said, "Look, you've got a call to make. I can either follow these guys to Detroit and hopefully nothing goes wrong, or you can direct me somewhere." So I had to drive an hour away to go and get the car fixed, but knowing that they may not have one of these suspension parts. Thankfully they did, and I was back on the road. So I was half a day behind everyone.
So you were playing catch up. Did you get to Indianapolis when we got to Indianapolis?
No, I got to Detroit, and then I drove another hour away, and I was like, man, I'm ruined.
So you packed up for that night?
So we found a motel.
So did you come to the Indy 500?
I did, yeah, I got there.
So you made it?
Yeah. So after about an hour and a half, as you guys were there, I got there.
Okay.
Yeah. It was scorching hot, 350,000 people. I'm glad I saw it, because in my mind as well, and this is me being very naive, I thought, can it be as good as Formula One? In actual fact, I really enjoyed it.
Great day.
Really good.
I've never been before, and I really enjoyed going to the Indy 500.
So I told this story to Maximilian. He said that's what Gumball's about. It's about thinking on your feet and
thinking on your feet, getting help from people around, working solutions, and how you have this whole. You see it as you go through the rally. This whole community that pulls together all the drivers. Everybody works to help each other. You know, if somebody's got a problem, we've got great communication, we're all working together and everything happens. And that's one of the things I enjoy so much about it. And, you know, meeting up for things outside of the rally as well. Yeah. It becomes, you know, when you're part of the Gumball family, you are part of the Gumball family. Yeah. And it really is that, like, you're together.
Yeah, definitely.
It's cool.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. So
the Senna?
Crazy thing, but not very suited to the rally.
It just looks incredible, like, doesn't it?
The guys who drove it, respect, that's brave. The 675 would be a great car.
Yeah.
A lot of storage up front. It's actually pretty comfortable, very cool, lovely car to drive. STO is, you know, stands out a mile away, especially when it's in these colours.
Yeah, beautiful.
But the same problem these days. None of these cars, they don't give you storage space.
Yeah.
Storage space
it
is
opens up like this?
It goes forwards.
Wow.
And that's
I didn't know that.
Your luggage.
No, they're taking the piss and they're taking the piss. That is very small.
Yes, that is literally a pair of shoes or a wash bag. Not both, one or the other.
A left trainer and a handbag, maybe.
Yeah, you're not going to be getting much else in there. Yeah. Tiny bit behind the seats, but...
and brake horsepower?
640 in here, which is not a lot, dare I say it, by modern standards.
But it's a tiny car.
Yeah, it's just wild. This is everything a Lambo should be. Polar opposite of my Aston GT8, which is more like a proper driver's car. Heavy, manual, old school.
So when I first got to know, not really you so much directly, but your profile, Shmee, 2010 you sort of founded the brand, right?
Yeah, January 2010 is when I started uploading videos on YouTube.
So it was in and around that sort of time, maybe a year after, and I always remember that colour blue, the Senna, was your type of car.
So you probably saw that Aston Martin.
And the 12C McLaren.
In the same colour.
Yeah, that's it.
So the Aston Martin Vantage Roadster that I own now is the same car that I owned in 2010 to 2012, which was the first car I ever filmed a video of on my channel, when I was talking to camera. So the first time I ever made a YouTube video talking to camera full stop was driving that car, which I got to buy back last year. So super cool that
really cool.
Still own it.
Because am I right in saying it was Ferrari 458 and also a Lamborghini Gallardo Superleggera.
Superleggera.
That's it, Superleggera. It's kind of where it all started.
Filming those kind of cars. It was the Super Veloce. So my first ever YouTube video was a Top Gear magazine awards evening at Bibendum in London. And they had parked out the front a Ferrari 458 Italia and a Lamborghini Murcielago LP670 Super Veloce, which was like the final
AKA
last edition. SV, yes, Mercy SV to keep it short. And to be honest, I was just playing with a new video camera. I wasn't trying to make a YouTube video or trying to do something. I'd uploaded a few videos on my channel, but I'd bought a new camera. I was about to be going on a ski trip and I wanted to see if the camera worked, film some cars, stuck it on YouTube. And that's where all of this began.
Yeah.
In a nutshell, the simple story. And never back then did I ever think, that's well before that happened. But never back then did I think I would now daily drive a 1,000 horsepower Ferrari. Like that would have been distant, impossible dream.
Mate, what an incredible car this is.
Yeah, I'm enjoying commuting.
Yeah,
hybrid
beautiful.
style, pull up in electric drive.
Yeah, it's really weird. When you pulled up, you hear that buzz of the electric and it's like, is that a Tesla behind me? And you're looking at this.
It's a different world because what supercars do with electric motors is use them to help with the performance. So yes, there are the environmental credentials, there are the green side of it, and driving electrically obviously gives you an increased fuel economy, etc., etc. But in a car like this, you have the ability to just go a little drive in electric if you want to. So always nice for pulling up at home or at work or something. You're not disturbing your neighbors, whatnot. But on the other hand, if you go into full 1000 horsepower mode, qualifying mode it's called, you're getting the full electric motors deploying, and then you get your combustion engine. And the way that works is you get the instant torque from electric. So while you're waiting for the turbos to come in, like you experience in most of these kind of cars now, you get the electric, so you get this very, very flat, massive amount of power go. And believe me, when you put your foot down with 1000 horsepower, it's a shove in the back.
I bet it is.
It's like, boom, off you go.
I feel like I should shut up when I'm accelerating.
You know, I feel very lucky to be able to have these cars in my collection and to be able to drive them.
I have to say, the colour of that car, I don't think you could have made it more perfect. And also, there's a bit of a nod to Iron Man, isn't it?
So,
like that.
Do you know what? It's actually a funny story. So the red and gold colour scheme is actually from a race team back in the 1960s. Alan Mann Racing here in the UK used to race the old GT40s. And they had a lot of big name drivers, like Bruce McLaren used to drive for them, Jackie Stewart, Jackie Ickx, like really, really big famous racing drivers. And I wanted to do a tribute to it. So I actually reached out to, sadly Alan Mann passed away, but his sons, Tom and Henry, and they actually got me the pot of paint.
Wow.
So it's the original colour gold to go over my own new red. But it was, when it was in build at the factory, they did nickname it the Iron Man car. And I took this out to the US for a trip in 2019. So I took it all around the USA. I was like, I've got to track down Robert Downey Jr. I've got to find him somewhere, but it didn't happen.
I thought you were going to say you met him.
How fun would it have been?
So, I mean, this car, I don't know so much about it, so you can enlighten me. So it's obviously paddle shift.
Yeah, so like headline stuff, quite an unusual, controversial decision. They put a V6 in it. So it's obviously very valuable, very limited, very fast supercar, but with a V6 engine.
Because you would suspect it would be a V8.
At least, yes. Idea being lighter, tiny, and you've got, look at the airflow through here. It means you can have a really tight package for the cabin and the engine compartment, which obviously helps get more downforce faster around racetracks. It's not as fast as the Senna. It's nothing like as fast as the Senna. Different league of horsepower, downforce, performance, lighter. That thing is, when you go to a racetrack in the Senna, it's amazing. But when you drive it on the road, and this is what you were saying about going on a rally, I did a drive from Munich in Germany to Switzerland in the Senna, which is probably only 5 hours, 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah,
but
not too
bad. I was like, I'm done, I'm out. I don't want to do this for a longer journey. I like a little bit of comfort sometimes. But you know, I think that's being spoiled to have a selection of cars means that you can experience different things. You know, I was saying I like collecting stuff.
Yeah.
So, Swatch, you know Swatch watches?
Of course.
I have a big collection of Swatch watches. I'm always wearing a Moon Swatch, the new ones, or a different Swatch. I try and wear like a different watch all the time. These are called the Maxis, Maxi Swatches, and I love collecting them. It's become a little bit obsessive. These, along with other things like Lego, I've got every Lego car model pretty much out there. One of the things I like the most about having a space like this is I can use it to allow myself to kind of do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, what younger me would have been able to only dream about.
Yeah.
I've also got stacks of broken car parts and things. I did have an incident in the Senna, unfortunately, a few years ago.
Did you?
I was sitting on the M25, a truck changed lanes and just moved into me.
Oh my God.
It's 15 miles an hour in traffic. Not doing anything stupid, nothing, just literally sitting there. Boom, done. It was only cosmetic, thankfully, it was just a little brush, but cosmetic parts on a McLaren.
So you claimed off of his insurance, right?
Yes, his insurance settled it, but gosh, it was not fun.
Cool.
It took a lot of headache. So that is a Williams 1997 FW19 show car. So it's show car chassis 1, which were always the promotional marketing cars. Now they make loads of show cars. Back then they didn't. So this is a bit more special than it might initially appear. It's obviously in pieces because it's being fully restored.
Right.
So all of the...
And would you be able to drive this?
No. Show car is made using the original components and the tubs, the molds, but it's a slightly thinner construction.
Okay.
So it is carbon, but it's not like, it's not the rigidity that you would need for an engine in it. Fully restored and perfect, it's a 6-figure item. It's, you know, it's special. My car has wheels and tires that raced, it has suspension components that raced, it has lots of the ancillaries around it that raced. But then on the other hand, it has a fiberglass front spoiler, for example. So it's a complete Frankenstein monster kind of thing, like different things pieced together, but we have the chassis plaque that says the history. So at the moment, all of those components, like the suspension arms and things, are at a company called TDF Heritage being restored. The body is going to go for paint quite soon. It's just chilling here at the moment.
Have you driven a F1 car?
No, never driven an F1 car.
But I bet it's on your list.
That's on the bucket list.
Yeah.
But yeah, talking about all the kind of random stuff, we head through over this way into the den of the den of random things. This is where, at the moment, we base ourselves. It's a whole lot of random stuff around car parts, my display cabinets of Lego, because it's quite fun. I mean, I've always been a big Lego fan.
Yeah.
Always collected Lego cars, and now I actually work with Lego. So when the new model's released, I work with.
I saw on your website,
which is really fun. Something like that's really cool. I love the model cars. That's an exact 1:8 scale replica of my set.
That's beautiful.
Down to the number plate and even the text at the bottom of the plate.
How much is that model car?
I think they sell them now because the price has gone up recently for in the region of £12,000–13,000.
You can actually buy a real car.
Oh no, I know that. It's crazy. I'm lucky I bought it when it was a little bit cheaper. But we do fun things as well. Like we, this is a collaboration with Tarmac Works and Mini GT. We made 4,500 little centers.
Oh wow!
Which actually all sold out, which is really fun as well.
That's really cool.
I'll have to give you one. I've got a couple of spare ones here.
Yeah, I love it.
We've done a few of my cars.
You, mate. When I was talking to Maximilian on my podcast, and he mentioned about Gumball. Have done a lot of do you call them toy cars?
Hot Wheels.
With Hot Wheels, and they are so successful. You know, the amount of units they sell is incredible.
I was amazed when we sold so many of those. So this is what my F1 car looked like at the time. Raced by Jacques Villeneuve. This model's actually signed by him. He was the championship winner that year.
When I first glanced at it reminded me of Damien Hill. For some reason.
Yeah, he drove the same car the year before.
Yeah.
So the previous year he drove under the Rothmans livery in the same thing.
Okay.
So well remembered. 95, 96 he was there. But yeah, you just end up with stuff like that's my F1 steering wheel that we've just had retrimmed that needs to go back in. Random parts. I don't know if you saw that. The recent Lego collaboration for the Ferrari Daytona SP3.
Jesus.
But this is cool because that's signed by the senior designer at Lego responsible for the project. So I love this kind of stuff. I have too much of this kind of stuff. We have two keys. Senna key, Ford GT key. Where are we going?
Senna first, just because it's probably.
I'm going to forewarn. This isn't necessarily going to end well.
Why? All right.
It'll need to come through.
All right. Look at that door. Wow.
It's a cool thing.
Well, it's not. I like the way the roof comes away.
Makes it easier. Now's when I shut you inside.
Go on. Wow. How'd you get out? How'd you get out? I've got no idea how to get out of there. I don't know how to get out.
That's what I meant when I said it might not end well.
I could actually die in this car. How'd you get out? It's mental. How did I get out? This.
Pull it.
That is mental.
I'm sorry I did that to you.
Yeah. You could. If I wasn't in here, I fully would have had a panic attack.
I've seen people get stuck in sentence for a long time.
God.
Like ballet.
You would never think the to open it is there. What a lovely car. Do you know what? It felt exactly, just sitting in it, how I thought it was going to be. I love the tightness of it.
Lefty.
Yep. Whoa.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I got it when I parked it yesterday.
Yeah.
Tiny cabin for such a huge car.
But I love it. Feels a bit like the Aventador.
It's very. The The feel of the Ford GT is very like the Aventador.
Oh, I love it.
It's a lighter car to drive because of having a much smaller engine, but it's very wide and low.
Yeah.
And feels dramatic.
It's beautiful, beautiful. I actually really like these seats. They feel really comfy.
They are.
Really
American. They're quite
yeah.
soft.
Well, yeah, they're
I've done nearly 8,000 miles in this thing.
beautiful. And it just, roars, I bet, when you put your foot down.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Start it quickly. Foot brake, button in the centre.
Wow, that was cool. Very nice.
Better than people think for a V6.
Yeah. What a car. Yeah. Really good. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Maybe one time when I see you out, you take me out in it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Cheers,
Great to
buddy.
see you. See you again soon.
Have a successful weekend.
You too. See you later, guys.